I emailed out a link for our teen scholarships. So if those of you guys who want to give online for our teen scholarships, you now have that link in your inbox. Tomorrow, those of you guys who are thinking about boxed lunches, if you are signed up for the intensives all day tomorrow, those intensives come with a boxed lunch. So know that the boxed lunch will be similar to what you had today, or exactly the same, because it's still in a box, it's lunch, and it's the same choices. If you want to see this t-shirt, I have it in green. There are t-shirts in green and purple and red and turquoise or aqua. And these are tank tops, not t-shirts. They're on sale for $20. Please grab one while you can. We have a limited number of those, so you can definitely make those purchases. So I think what we're gonna do, does anyone want me to talk more? No. So let's get going. Those of you guys who are in the marketplace, we need to get going. So if you can be a little bit more quiet with your sales, I want to introduce to you our next keynote, and I'm incredibly honored that she has made the trip. Molly Barker is almost a household name, I feel like, and she is the founder of Girls on the Run, which is a super popular exercise program that has reached millions of girls, not just in the States, but throughout the world. And it's an incredible empowerment program. And when Molly started this program, it was new, it was novel. Sound familiar? And it just has grown and taken off. And she's been honored by the White House. She's been honored by everyone else in between here and the White House. And she is now also on to her next project, which is the Red Boot Coalition. So I'd like to welcome Molly Barker. Thank you.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Why did she sound so much stronger than I sound right now? So I have a request. I am all about holding space and creating safe space. And so I am going to be speaking from my heart to you. And that's difficult to do when there's a lot of talking in the room. You all can imagine if you were holding a yoga class and somebody's walking in with their iPod or their earbuds on. So I'm just going to respectfully ask that folks just keep it very low so that I can share like that, okay? So I am the not dead founder of Girls on the Run. Most of the girls think I'm dead because I started it 20 years ago. And when you're like 8, that's like when the dinosaurs roamed, okay? So who's heard of it? Yay, that makes me so happy. Okay, who hasn't heard of it? Yay, that makes me so happy. Okay, so I'm going to tell you one quick story to just sort of explain what it is. So I get to travel all over and visit with lots of little girls because they are so happy that the founder is not dead, okay? And I was visiting this group of kids at their school. They were out on the field waiting for the founder to arrive. I get my name badge, put my name badge on. I'm descending the steps. The little kids, they're 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, are out on the field, and they see me. And when kids are delighted like that, they squeal, right? It's not a yell or a woohoo. It's like, like this. And so I'm coming down the steps, and we all begin running towards each other. It was a little bit like if it had been in slow motion with music, it would have been like amazing. And so there's this one kid in front. Her name is Nicole. The girls are in a goose formation, right? Because it's more aerodynamic. Nicole was fastest. They're running to me, and this kid gets 8 yards in front of me, 8 feet maybe. She throws her arms back like this. And then she looks at me and she goes, are you Molly Barker? And I was like, yes I am. And she goes, oh girl, you don't look anything like your picture. And then I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, okay. And then she goes, but that's all right. We learned in lesson 18 that they airbrush all those pictures anyway. And she got it, right? She got it. It took me until I was 30 freaking 3 years to get it. And I had to hit bottom to get it, to figure out that, like, the essence of me, when integrated with the physical of me, is a force to be reckoned with. And so it was July 7th, 1993. I had hit bottom the night before, struggled with alcoholism for most of my, young life, and I consider myself young at age 32. Called my sister. I'm like, I gotta go. This is just too hard. I just don't want to play this game anymore. It seems ridiculous. And she said to me, well, honey, just go to sleep and know that this too shall pass. So the next day was July 7th, 1993. I set off on a run. It was a late day. There was a huge thunderstorm off in the distance. And I just had this epiphany at age 33, where I suddenly had this realization. It was about 8 steps at the at the corner of Kenilworth and East Boulevard in Charlotte, where I became aware of my no-thingness. No-thingness. I wasn't a woman. I wasn't an alcoholic. I wasn't poor. I wasn't struggling. I wasn't rich. I wasn't white. I wasn't thin. I wasn't blonde. I'm still not blonde. I was no thing. And I realized that for 30-something years of my life, I'd been trying to define that thing inside by something else. And so I didn't know how this would manifest. I just knew that something was different. Things began to change. The people that came into my life began to speak like this. Like I could say the word manifest, and they didn't look at me like, what are you talking about? And so 3 years passed, and then I started Girls on the Run. And the idea was to give girls these tools to sort of begin to experience life in the both, in the and, in the spirit and the physical. And so they could define girl on their terms, whatever that word means to them. If it means showing up in a tutu or a Superman cape, all is good. Because, this too shall pass. And so I don't want to go into too much detail about that, because I'm happy to talk to you about that afterwards. Thank you for that. Now I know how Michelle did it. So 3 years ago, I retired from Girls on the Run. I felt like I had more to do in the world. And what's great is I trust the process. I had no idea what I had to do. I just knew I had to go. And so about the time that I left, out of nowhere, I got an invitation to come to Washington to serve on a panel that was going to explore how we could get our elected leaders to speak more kindly to one another. And I remember I said to the lady that was organizing, I'm like, all I know is Schoolhouse Rock, people. That's it. Why did you ask me? And she said, well, you've worked with children. We figured it would work pretty well. So I came. I spent 2 years here, and I left deeply saddened. And I was actually bordering on cynicism, because I just felt like you can't legislate a change of heart. And so I did what any middle-aged, not sure what color your hair is, white, small woman with means does. I rented a Mustang convertible and drove from Charlotte to Las Vegas and decided to talk to anybody that would talk to me about what's going on with all this us and them in the world. I spoke to over 100 people. How I got here today is I spoke to one of your members, Peggy Duffy, brought me into her house, and I listened. And over the course of that month in August of 2014, I heard it time and time again. All they want, all people want, is to be seen, to be heard, and to know they matter. Heard it over and over. I heard it from Dave, the truck driver, who loves Amendments 1, 2, and 6. He could recite the entire Constitution. He didn't understand why those people didn't work. I heard it from Dory, the housekeeper, who told me why those people don't work, who explained to me how working for minimum wage just wasn't cutting it. But each of them finished the story with, all we want is to be seen, to be heard, and to be loved. And that was what was missing in this city. And so I came back and I thought, oh gosh, I got to do something with this. Like, I heard this too many times, and these people opened their hearts up to me. And so I thought, I wonder if we started at the grassroots. If we got people to talk in that space, underneath all of the things on the outside. And so I started holding Red Boot meetings. And the reason it's called Red Boot, when I went on the trip and I wore red boots, people would come up to me first. I didn't have to go to them. I don't know what it is, whether these like radiate, I'm a little bit crazy, come talk to me. But they did. They just come over, oh girl, I like your boots. And I'd go, hey, I'm doing this thing on the current highly polarized state of American politics. You want to talk? And they did. Everybody did. So I came back, and it really is more than politics. It's like the us. I'll speak for myself. It's like the us and them that I experienced like as a kid. Like, this thing in here needs to figure out how to thrive out there. And when they happen at the same moment, it's like, whoa, it's like unbelievable, right? That's it. And so that's what everybody yearns for, and that's what's missing from politics and all of these race conversations. And I live in Charlotte, and my city is crying. It's crying. And so what I thought would be really cool is we're going to do it right now. So here's the question. This is the question that cuts to the core. And when we have our meetings, they're 11 meetings long. And what they do is they begin at the hardest spot. And the question is, and I'm looking for answers, so when you're ready, stand up and just, let's not all stand up at once. Give me your answer. Why do you matter? Let me hear it from the back there.